Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's planning session. I will be presenting a 1 week literacy and numeracy project designed for 8th grade math students at Bragg Middle School. The purpose of this project is to strengthen students' statistical reasoning while developing literacy skills in reading, writing, speaking, listening, and evidence based communication. Throughout the project, students are going to engage in some hands on investigations. They're going to analyze real world data, communicate their findings, and reflect on how literacy and numeracy work together to support decision making in everyday life. Before planning this project, our PLC reviewed Plus Day data and ALSDE school report card achievement data to identify our areas of need. So our data showed that while ELA proficiency is at 61.66%, math proficiency was only at 28.19%. The data was also showing significant achievement gaps among several student groups, including students with disabilities, who only demonstrated 19.59% proficiency in ELA and only 5.21% proficiency in mathematics. English language learners showed 25% proficiency in ELA and again only 3.03% proficiency in mathematics. So these findings are suggesting that many students need additional support, not just with mathematical concepts, but also with reading, interpreting, explaining, and communicating mathematical information. So, because literacy and numeracy are closely connected, I designed this project to strengthen both areas simultaneously through authentic statistical investigations and collaborative learning experiences. So, the driving question for this project is, how do literacy and numeracy work together to help us understand the world around us? So, students won't be simply learning statistics, they're going to learn how to communicate mathematical ideas, evaluate evidence, defend conclusions, and make informed decisions using their data. So, these skills extend far beyond a mathematics classroom and are essential for success in school and in everyday life. So the project will begin with the Barbie Bungee investigation. So during lesson one, students are going to collect their data by measuring how far Barbie is dropping from her, attaching various numbers of rubber bands, creating their little Barbie bungee. In lesson two, students are going to analyze their data by creating scatter plots and generating equations of best fit lines using Desmos. So students will then predict how many additional rubber bands Barbie's going to need to safely bungee from the softball bleachers, which are 132 inches high. So students are going to test their predictions, evaluate the accuracy of their models, and the investigation is going to include or require students to read directions, communicate ideas, justify their reasoning, and reflect on their results, creating a strong connection between literacy and numeracy. During lessons 3 and 4, students transition from quantitative data to categorical data. Students are going to construct two-way tables, calculate relative frequencies, and investigate possible associations between variables. So students are going to engage in discussions, analyze evidence, and write explanations that defend their conclusions. These activities mirror the work students encounter when interpreting surveys, news reports, and research findings in the real world. And then on that fifth day, the project culminates with a statistical literacy gallery walk, where student groups are going to analyze data sets, determine whether associations exist, and then prepare visual displays summarizing their findings. Students will present their claims, provide supporting evidence, and then explain their reasoning to classmates. They will also evaluate their peers' work using feedback forms. So this lesson is going to highlight the importance of literacy skills such as speaking, listening, writing, and argumentation while reinforcing those statistical concepts they've learned throughout the week. Throughout the project, differentiated supports are provided for English language learners, Tier 3 students, and students with IEPs and 504 plans. Some of the supports will include student stems, visual vocabulary resources, guided notes, and small group instruction. Technology is going to play an important role throughout the project. Students are going to use Desmos to analyze their data. They're going to create mathematical models and investigate statistical relationships. Digital tools are going to support their collaboration, communication, and problem solving while increasing their engagement throughout the unit. So, in conclusion, this project is going to demonstrate how literacy and numeracy work together to support student learning. Through statistical investigation, students learn how to interpret information, analyze evidence, communicate ideas, and solve problems using data. By connecting mathematics to authentic situations and emphasizing communication, students develop skills that will help them become informed decision makers both inside and outside the classroom. Thank you for taking time to listen to my project.